How you doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well today. Subriel Matias returns to the ring November 9th, fighting Roberto Ramirez in Taínos versus Aztecas card. I'm going to do a full breakdown of the whole card a little bit closer to the fight, but this video I just wanted to touch on the comeback of Matias. We'll talk about his mentality and what to expect in the fight and what the fight means for him going forward. Let's go.
Boxing.
So that music in the background and those drums, I pulled the actual song from this documentary that I just watched called The Last Taino. And it's a fascinating documentary, and it's this guy, he might be a journalist or a movie maker. He goes into, I think it's in Cuba or Dominican Republic, where the Tainos, as you know, they were an indigenous group in the Caribbean and still exist today through their descendants.
The Taino people are the indigenous peoples of the Caribbean island area. The traditional homelands of the Taino extended from the major or greater Antilles, which includes islands such as Boriquén, which is now known today as Puerto Rico, Quisqueya and Haiti, which is the Dominican Republic, and Haiti today, Cuba, Jamaica, which is known as Jamaica today, the Bahamas, and even into the southern tip of Florida.
So I'm trying to learn a little bit more about them before I do that full card breakdown, because this channel is a lot about art and music and culture as well, not just boxing. So I thought I'd just throw that out there. Link in the description for that. I would strongly recommend watching that, because he goes and seeks out a Taino like chief and talks to the family.
Y Martí dijo que durante un indio no fuera libre, había que luchar hasta que todos los indios fueran libres en el mundo, porque fueron la primera raza. Y dijo de los cubanos, los primeros nativos cubanos somos los indios.
And I thought it was really interesting. So, as I said, link below. But let's get on to the fight, because this is just, you know, obviously this fight was announced a few weeks ago. I've been away. I have been quite busy, but I've been meaning to make this video. It's really not a full fight breakdown. I'll do a separate one for this fight and the rest of the card closer to the date. But we want to focus on Subriel Matias's, you know, mentality, or how he's going to approach this fight, because he has been a little bit quiet, obviously coming off a loss, and not just a loss, but really, you know, below par performance from just what fight fans and boxing fans would expect from a Subriel Matias fight, and that's ferocity, intensity, real will to win all the time, throwing more punches, you know, really fighting in the clinches. And there wasn't really much of that. We've got to give Liam Parra credit. He fought a good fight, a very clever fight, and you know, he did what he had to do. He actually had a really masterful game plan and came through some fire as well.
Nice uppercut from Matias. Parra fighting. Matias has never won a decision. Nice flurry there from Matias.
And a thud with Matias' power.
I mean, he fought like he really came through some rough patches, especially in the end of that 6th round, where his corner were really geeing him up to kind of like, come on, Liam, and they really had a good game plan. You got to give respect where respect is due, and Matias's team certainly did that. Now, obviously, Matias has parted ways with Panda, his coach. I think they're still cool, and they're still, you know, maybe friends, I don't know, but then it wasn't a bad split. It was just more, it seemed like Matias wanted to train in Puerto Rico. I know he was being taken to Mexico, and he's a family man and wanted to be closer to his family, basically. But you know, obviously with that and being in Puerto Rico, there was a lot of distractions leading up to that fight, whether a couple of days before, and you know, even the little mini weird rift that he had with Eddie Hearn. It seemed like there was not quite on the same page. There was a lack of promotion, which was a little perplexing. Now I've heard that he's also requested to either leave Matchroom or has left Matchroom. I know Fresh Productions are doing this card. They're the ones running it. And so I know they were part of the deal. I haven't really found too much on that, but I have heard heavy rumors that he either wants to leave or has left, which at the time when he got that signing, I thought it was a really good signing because I thought he'd be kept active. I think he's just a magnificent fighter to promote because he really goes out there and fights. You know, and win, lose or draw. When you fight like him normally, you know the crowd loves it. He didn't quite do that in the last fight, so it will be interesting to see how he comes out in this fight. And you know his fighting style. Like at the end of the day, he is a human being, and he puts so much out. Spiritual warfare into his battles that it's like he's just a human being. I do wonder if something's been taken from him from all those wars and battles, you know. And you know, like the Duke Empire fight, as amazing of a fight that was to watch. I mean, he definitely got hurt a couple times in that fight, and he was like really like, you wonder, fight after fight for years, how much he's been fighting in the street and this and that, whether he just hit a wall, you know. So will he come back and be able to fight as ferocious as he has done in the past? That is the big question for me. What do you guys think about that? Because maybe there's been I know he's been quiet. I know he did an interview about a week or two after the fight, but outside of that, he's been quite quiet. Have you guys seen anything else to make you believe? Have you seen any training footage? Is he in Puerto Rico? I've been a little bit out the loop, as I said. I've been away, so I always appreciate when people can tune in and give me the lowdown. But you know, I will be really interested to see. Let's talk about his opponent quickly because I couldn't find that much footage on Ramirez. He has lost 3 times. He's got a little bit of power. He's got a decent KO ratio, and he's long and wiry. He can box a little bit. His only loss, or one of his 3 losses, or only stoppage loss, was actually, I think it was 2 stoppage losses. But one of them more recently was to William Zepeda.
Oh, he's hurt. Oh. Good combination by Zepeda. And it's going to be stopped.
No real shame in that. He's a tremendous fighter. That was down at lightweight. He's actually quite a bit bigger, and his last fight was at 145. So he's a big guy. Do you know what I mean? So I'm more curious to see how Matias looks, feels, and sounds with regards to, you know, his mentality and his aura. You know, because he didn't have that ferocious aura that we're used to seeing, and I do hope that it hasn't just deserted him forever, because at the end of the day, every fighter has a bad night. If you look at the 140-pound division, right, you could go down the list and pull every fighter out there and say, yeah, we've had a couple of bad nights. Like Gary Antoine Russell had a bad night really against Puyo. Bad matchup. He couldn't really get his offense going, but you know, Puyo's a decent fighter, but Antoine Russell didn't look his ferocious self. Josh Taylor hasn't looked good for a couple of years now. Regis Prograis has had a couple of bad turnouts. T.O. didn't look great against Jermaine Ortiz, let's just be honest. He's a tremendous fighter, but you know, that style, and that fighting style from Ortiz certainly was part of that. It didn't look great against Sander Martin either. Then you can, I'm trying to think other fighters at the 140 division. Devin Haney didn't really look great against Ryan Garcia, but there are some asterisks next to that with regards to the weight and more so the PEDs. But Haney just fought completely the wrong fight, regardless of that. And then I swear there's 1 or 2 more. You know, Jose Ramirez got stopped by Josh Taylor. Obviously, people, you know, fighters do lose, but they're human beings. They go through training camps several times a year. That's what they do. They fight. And somebody like Matias has been fighting non-stop, fighting. You know, you do wonder, what has it taken anything from him, or did he just? He just didn't have it that night, you know. Let me know your thoughts, but as I said, I will do more of a deeper breakdown of the card, or like a little look into it if I can get enough footage, and definitely I'll do a fight breakdown of this fight. So November 9th. So shout out to Matias, shout out to the Puerto Rican fans. You know, obviously I'm a big admirer of Subriel Matias. I love his passion, I love the way he fights, you know, I really do. I made loads of videos about him because of that, because of the way he puts himself out there, and he's a gladiator, you know. I've been meaning to make a video on him being a gladiator, but I think I'll tie it together with this Taino undertone music and drums, and just like maybe I'll switch it to that, because it really, in essence, is just about a warrior spirit. So we'll see. As a creative dude like myself, I tend to you know, get an idea and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do this, I'll do that, and it's just, you know, how it comes out, but I'll definitely do it November. And I hope you guys, you know, are well and have a great week. All right, man, peace and love. I'm out.